In China, where the virus originated, life is slowly returning back to normal in some cities. Authorities there are easing restrictions as the number of new infections drops. Connor Ferguson is a British citizen in the Chinese city of Changsha, where he works as a teacher and has been in lockdown. He joins me now. Now, Connor, we spoke to you last month as Wuhan was going into lockdown. How has the situation in China changed since then?
Well, for most of China, outside of Wuhan, business is slowly starting to pick up again. I hear from other cities that the restaurants are opening, although the amount of people who can sit inside is still severely limited. In Changsha, where I live, more restaurants are opening, although quite a lot of them are still shuttered. So the ones that are open also are still quite strict in terms of who can go in and out. But for the most part, it feels a bit like how it was before the virus.
So for you, in terms of your daily life, are things pretty much back to normal? Are you doing what you were doing back in February?
I'm still not back in work. At the moment, my company is still teaching online, so I am at the moment still working from my apartment. But they believe that will change next month. Like schools in some provinces, in Jiangsu province, are planning to go back at the end of this month. So I believe Hunan province will soon follow as well.
And are people still practicing social distancing?
Social distancing isn't really being practiced too much at the moment. I'm seeing lots of people on the streets now. Some people aren't even wearing masks, and the metros are also, and the metro and the buses are also busy like they were before the virus.
So when they were practicing social distancing, was it very strict? Did people really adhere to the guidelines?
I'd say they did. I went out only a few times during that period to go to the supermarket to buy food. And on the streets, you would see very few people. And basically, aside from the takeaway drivers, there were no cars on the roads.
And now are you able to travel freely within the country?
Can't travel freely within the country. I believe the restrictions have not been lifted on those yet. But in terms of Changsha, metro and buses are back to normal, so I can travel around the city.
And Connor, what's your view on how authorities there have handled the outbreak?
I feel like obviously they were a bit slow to start. I don't think anybody is questioning that, but I think that the measures that they implemented, while they may have been very strict, they definitely showed signs of improvement, especially in like Hubei and Wuhan, where had they not done anything, there could have been millions of cases by now.
Well, throughout the crisis, how reliable has the data been? Can all the figures coming out of China be trusted in your view?
In my view, I can only say what I see when I go out in my daily life. And in my personal opinion, if the numbers were not accurate, then I don't see why they would be opening up schools so soon, because schools are obviously a place that is very, very highly contagious. Like these diseases can spread very easily. The fact that they're willing to open up schools, the fact that people are going back to work, and mostly, for the most part, people are very relaxed. I kind of feel like the numbers were not too far off.
And can you describe for us a little bit more about how local businesses have been hit and how they're potentially recovering?
So for most schools, it is moved entirely to online. So the trainer schools, like where I work, our clients now we strictly teach them at home. Supermarkets and shops are mostly back to normal, although obviously because of the virus, their business, the amount of people going to them is severely limited. As far as other businesses go, I can't really comment on that, but I do know from some people who work in import-export that like their businesses obviously were affected quite a lot as well. Like they're not getting as much business as they were before the virus.
And Connor, the concern is now that foreigners are bringing the virus back in. Are they all being quarantined upon arrival? Do you know?
I know that just recently, if you go through Beijing, then you have to then be transferred to other cities around the country to then be quarantined there. Like going to Beijing is sort of, they're basically telling people not to travel to Beijing anymore, and the same with Shanghai as well. And other cities, if you do go to those cities, you will be under a 14-day mandatory quarantine as well.
And Connor, personally for you, what's been the biggest challenge during the COVID-19 outbreak, and how are you feeling now?
Personally, for me, it was definitely the isolation. I understand that it's not very easy to stay at home by yourself, and there's plenty of places in the West now are just now experiencing this, and they understand how hard it is. My personal opinion is that it's obviously very scary at the moment, and I feel like it in some countries the numbers are only going to increase. But if we do all that we can to protect ourselves and protect the people around us, if we adhere to the rules of social distancing, and if we look after ourselves, wash our hands for 20 seconds, that's all we can really do, you know.
Connor Ferguson, thanks for sharing your experiences with us and messages for hope there and good advice. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, Yvonne.